All right, we're here this morning on beautiful Breton Bay at Fitzy's Marina, home of the best crab cakes in Southern Maryland. They're open weekends and some Mondays if it's a holiday. They open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're here with William B.J. Hall.
Roosevelt Hall.
William Roosevelt. Okay, which Roosevelt you named after, Theodore or Franklin?
Well, I'm named after my father.
Okay.
Since I'm the third, it was like so.
Was there a Republican Roosevelt? I mean, you are a Republican. You're running for the Maryland House of Delegates, District 29B.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that is the House of Delegates seat that is for the south end of St. Mary's County up through Lexington Park up to a slice of California and Great Mills.
Yeah, it goes up, includes Wildwood as well.
Yeah, up in the Wildwood. Yeah, that's right. They had to redesign it several times for Bohannon because he had houses in Wildwood, Town Creek, St. Mary City, and down in Lexington Park. So depending on where he was living, they would just scooch the lines over a little bit.
I don't know that to be a fact, sir.
Well, I do. Yeah, so.
Roger that.
All right. So you work as a defense contractor. And you're a graduate of the West Point, the Navy, the Army Military Academy.
United States Military Academy at West Point, yes, sir.
Okay. And where were you born and raised?
Birmingham, Alabama.
So that's not Ridge, Valley Lee. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like Ridge.
But you came to St. Mary's County with a job at the base.
Actually, no. I was a planning director on a project over in Calvert. So it's the LNG plant over at Cove Point. Managed the project. Well, I was a planning director over there. We had an expansion on the LNG plant back in 2015. So I worked over there until 2017, and I came over and started working at the base.
Okay. You want to speak up a little bit?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay.
if you need me to.
Yeah, that's
my command voice.
Yes, project.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So you're doing that, and you ended up coming across a bridge to live.
Yes, sir. This was the place that had the 24-hour Walmart back in the day.
That's true. A lot of advantage to that.
Yes, sir.
You know where everything is.
Yes, sir.
Used to be my favorite store.
Come on.
Okay, so you got involved in local government affairs. You were appointed to the Planning Commission. And so you're one of the ones that's been approving all the sprawl and growth we're having? Is that
one? If you go back and check my record.
Well, you can talk about it.
No. I didn't approve a lot, and I think that's the reason why I'm no longer on the Planning Commission, because I didn't think that we really had a vision on how we wanted the county to grow. We just approved anything that came up.
Of course, the Planning Commission has never had a vision for anything except for the next campaign donation to a county commission from a developer.
Well, the thing about
having said that, I mean, that pretty sums up the Planning Commission for the last 40 years in this county.
I hear you, but the thing is, we pay $200,000 for what's supposed to be considered a vision, either one of the development plans or the comprehensive plan.
No, we have these out-of-state consultants now guiding us through some sort of squeaky little thing where they're delighted if 20 people show up and answer a survey.
Yeah, and I think they're just editing the one that we had. So yeah. I mean, it's really not.
But you can do that with a text amendment. You don't need to spend $500,000 on consultants.
I do not disagree. I had this argument with the planning. Well, I won't say I had an argument. I brought it up several times with the planning commissions. The commissioners on the planning commission. The thing about it is even some of the plans were actually decent, but we never executed. And so if you don't execute on a decent plan, then what's the point of paying for it? So I didn't. The process.
When they have the Lexington Park Development District, all they do is they take it and stretch it like you do a girdle for a fat lady, right? In the direction that the fat cats want. Isn't that pretty much the way it works?
I can't agree with anything you say because you put all this colorful language around. It's like, I'm not agreeing to the girdle part.
Okay.
No, but the development plan. I mean, if you go back and
Well,
look
they
at,
put the J.F. Taylor
Wait,
with
hold
500 employees. They put that building right in the middle of a failed intersection. It's been failed for 20 years, and
True.
the county commissioners and the planning commission and the people, they run it through like, what was this guy in danger going to Virginia with this building? But you have other places in the development district they could have located with sewer and water, but they didn't. Let's put it where the highway already stinks.
See, now you're trying to put me in a bad spot because
No,
I work for J.F. Taylor.
You do work for him now?
Wonderful company. One of the wonderful companies that we have here.
Oh, God.
It's St. Mary's.
I didn't know you worked there.
Come on, man. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, maybe you can go back to the gas plant. Well, actually, you're only here because you're actually looking for a new job. If you get elected to the House of Delegates, they don't want to spin you off.
No.
Okay.
No, we actually we had a conversation. I spoke with the leadership there, and I told them that I'd be pursuing this opportunity. So they're aware, and we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna stay with J.F. Taylor. I love that company.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, but you were talking about a good way to transition. We'll be talking about the project that we've been working on for years, right there around the corner from J.F. Taylor. The improvement on Route 5.
Well,
I know that's one of the things you love to talk about.
Well, the thing is, that is an example of the failed political leadership St. Mary's County has had for decades.
Well,
because I have a picture of Roy Dyson and John Bohannon holding a design on how to put in a third lane between Great Mills and Callaway, and they even got State Highway to give a tentative price of $1.6 million for it, and that was like in 1997.
Well,
and nothing got done.
At this point, it's 17 million, right at 17 million, and the engineering costs about 1.4.
Yeah, it's like, and then so we've had a county commissioner from Great Mills, Dan Raley, nothing. You know, the state highway people come in, nobody talks about that. They talked about an extension of Peg Road over to Route 5. No, nothing happened there. You know,
the cool part about it is, you know, they will do favors for some of the electeds just around election time. They put the 17 million in the budget, and then they removed it when we had to do some consolidation. Right?
You know, this guy Brian Crosby, you know, he passes a new tax that affects his business, and he moves his own business out of the state that day. I mean, all he had to do was spin his ears, and he could have hovered like an osprey and gone across the river. He didn't need a truck. So I don't know exactly what are people getting out of these politicians, and the question really is, how will you be different?
Well, man, this Anna's really messing with me. Anyway, the biggest thing is, well, one of the problems that you have down here in St. Mary's County, I don't think that we're as effective because we're not one of the Beltway counties, and unfortunately we're a Republican county, so we don't get a lot of favors from the.
Well, it wasn't any different when we were a Democrat county.
Is it? Well, I mean,
they took away our slot machines and gave us a bridge with no access road.
I told
Isn't that neat?
Well, it was like when I actually made my.
We had the Speaker of the House from this county.
What's that?
The Speaker of the House was from St. Mary's County when we got that bridge, but he just didn't give us an access road. Unbelievable. Oh, and they named the courthouse after the guy who did his damnedest to block that courthouse from being renovated and expanded. That he wanted a new judicial palace out at the governmental center. Then he loses. The Republican commissioners expand the courthouse, renovate it, and then they name the damn thing after the guy who fought it from being done. You know, so it's kind of it's what a privilege it is for you to run for House of Delegates in this county. You can only do better than these bozos before you.
Well, I mean, the plan is to leverage the relationships that I've built over the past years to impact to influence legislation that could actually benefit the county. So I mean, I've been one of those people that actually kind of like yourself I'll monitor legislation and see what's actually in the queue to try to see what we can actually piggyback on or something similar that can actually be passed to help us.
Why should we monitor legislation? The delegates, they'll issue a press release to tell us all we need to know.
You should always be aware. you should always be aware because they sneak.
And the county commissioners hired a lobbyist
to get things done, man. I think.
Well, what do they think our senator and 3 delegates are?
Well, I mean, the senator, and well, that's one of the things that I think is important as well, because I was actually talking to Tom Jarbo about it. I was like, I think we do need to improve the relationship between the senators, delegates, and the commissioners, so we're all on the same page. I'm not saying that they don't speak at this point, but I mean, I think there needs to be more of a collaborative effort, especially on the South End.
Well, the senators and the delegates are the last hope for the taxpayers to protect us from the loony stuff the county commissioners do. So they have to go. They want to get serious changes done, like charter government, for instance. Mm-hmm. The voters have turned down charter government 3 times in this county.
True.
Okay, and yet people still bring it up. Oh, we need to do that. What do you think? Do we need charter government?
I think it's something we should consider, honestly.
You mean get rid of the extra fail-safe layer to keep the commissioners from being goofballs?
Well, I mean, right.
You would go up there and be in favor of a charter government?
When you develop a charter, I mean, the responsibility. Well, it's important that you include the right language in the charter to protect the citizens, right? And so, but I do believe that the people that make the decisions for St. Mary's County should be in St. Mary's County.
Well, one of the developers, John K. Parlett, he proposed in favor of the charter government with the county executive. He says the county needed a benevolent dictator. He said that on TV, right in one of the meetings. I mean, that was his view as a developer, that we need a benevolent dictator. Because we're all such a bunch of dumb bumpkins, and we need a developer to show us the way, right?
No, but I mean,
and that's worked out well for Charlotte Hall, hasn't it?
Well, yeah.
I mean, how many more liquor stores and gas stations do you need in Charlotte Hall?
That's one. I mean, you're kind of all over the place right now. But
okay,
when we're talking about charter government, I mean, I mentioned it in my initial press release. I don't think that the people in Annapolis understand the issues that we're facing in St. Mary's County. So having the ultimate authority in Annapolis doesn't really make sense to me. I understand, people are a little leery of potential corruption at the county level, but I mean, we're dealing with corruption up in Annapolis, so I mean, how is that different?
Well, the corruption's everywhere. It's Absolutely. Government. That's what they do best.
So I think that it would be better if we could actually manage our affairs here in the county. So.
Well, the Office of Legislative Audits, they just put out a report saying that the Moore administration directed $416 million worth of new leases into Baltimore City that the Department of General Services can't justify. Okay, so all that's just corruption and graft right there. It's reparations with a pretty name on it.
That's not surprising from this administration.
It's incredible.
And the interesting part is,
but on a local level, we have 2 county commissioners here that are members of a private club that direct $25,000 for air conditioning for their Elks Lodge.
Roger that.
Why should people have faith in government when you see these things happening?
This is true. I mean, we do have government meddling in affairs that they shouldn't be. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know if you remember the first time that I talked. The first time when I did the interview when I ran for county commissioner, I talked. I kind of joke about it now because this was before Doge. I talked about the need for us to look at how we're spending money, how we're running government, and become a lot more efficient. Because we're doing a lot of things that government shouldn't be doing at the county level, at the state level. A lot of that stuff needs to be reviewed, and the things that we should be doing should be done a lot more efficiently. The systems engineer brain, part of my brain, always goes crazy when I start looking at some of the bills that we pass, and they talk about the execution of it. And a lot of it just doesn't make sense, especially when you start looking. I don't want to get into the county and talk about how we handle our affairs, but we have a lot of redundant positions. Let's just say people that are. We could be doing things a lot more efficient. Let's just say that.
Okay, well, the county got rid of the Leonard Hall School.
Roger.
Okay. Whether or not it could have been saved, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an operating school.
Mm-hmm.
And now the county wants to turn it into free daycare for county employees and compete with private daycare operators. Do you think that's a good function of government to do that?
Well, I think that's kind of a way to increase the incentives for people working at the county. I mean, working for the county.
Well,
so I mean, what's a
good incentive for someone to just quit and go elsewhere and reduce?
Say that again.
What's the incentive for them to go ahead and quit and go elsewhere for another employment and reduce the size and cost of county government? You know, right now it's always this county board has been raising taxes every year. Hey Jay, you have answered a lot of questions already. We've talked about planning and zoning and representation of the county in Annapolis. It's a tough crowd, tough town to deal with up there.
Almost as tough as you.
Full of Democrats, and most of them are lunatics. Okay.
This is true.
All right. What are some of the things you'd like to talk about that we haven't discussed yet?
One of the biggest things. I'm not sure if you know, but I have an autistic son that went to Great Mills High School. They do. Of course, you have the IEP process, and one of the things that you do with the during the process is testing. So they test your child just to understand their skill level, and they use that assessment to build a plan, a development plan. So one of the issues that I have tied to that process is the parents' inability to actually observe the assessment process. I requested to participate, or not to participate, but to observe, so I had a better understanding of the process they use to assess my child, so I could supplement the development plan that they developed for my child. They told me that they pointed to Comar, and there are a few issues. And Comar, that's a part of the law that governs a lot of different things. But there's a section in Comar at the state level that restricts parents' ability to observe this type of testing, and that is insane. I didn't want to actually participate in the assessment process, because I understand my son will that will influence the outcome. But me not having the ability to know what process is being used, to observe what's happening, they wouldn't even let me see they wouldn't even let me see the assessment question. I mean, I didn't get any information, and so I think that needs to be addressed. Parents need to be able to participate in that type of assessment, especially when we talk about special needs. And this is a group of kids. When we talk about the blueprint for Maryland, there was so much that was included in the blueprint, especially on the cost side. But if you actually look at the execution plan, the plan only mentions special needs like 17 times. How crazy is that? 17 times in a document that's 400 pages. You know, so it's like it's not enough in there for our special needs kids, and not for our parents that have kids that have special needs. So looking at Comar to address some of those issues, and making sure that the parents have the influence that they should, or at least the understanding that they should in their kids' education. I know that's a big one.
BJ, one of the chief jobs of a delegate is to go to Annapolis and try to get legislation favorable to St. Mary's County passed.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that when the General Assembly is run by a bunch of left-wing lunatics from the big counties?
Well, I think having relationships helps, and I've been building those relationships for the past 8 years. Just my work with just different advocate groups. So I'm up there with my fraternity all the time. Like right now, I'm the chair of government relations and legislative affairs for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And we
can you say that slower and louder?
For the 2nd District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And every year we have a lobby day, coordinate with a lot of the current legislators, and we speak with them on a regular basis to try to influence legislation that impact communities that we operate in.
Okay, you spoke about your activities with the school system and your son. Where do you go to church? Are you participating in your church?
Yes, sir. First Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend McClanahan. Yeah, I'm in the choir.
You're in the choir. Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
all God's children.
Come on, man. It's like, you should hear me. I used to be in an a cappella group. So
really?
Yeah, actually. Got that.
Will you make it sing a different tune in Annapolis?
Come on. Yeah, make sure that we're singing in harmony. Okay.
All right. What about the Governor Thomas Johnson Bridge? Okay. When's it going to fall in the river? Do you know? You're an engineer, right?
I wish I had a crystal ball so I can actually.
Do you think you could get the Department of Transportation to do an underwater survey of the support beams of the bridge?
Well, I mean that'll definitely be a priority number one on the transportation side.
I don't think they really want to look.
I don't think they do either. I think they actually allocated money for that, and they never did execute that. I'm not sure if that was just rumor, but my understanding is they actually had funding to do that analysis a few years ago, and they failed to do so.
Well, the Blackbird group, the people who get on social media around here, they talk with your legislators and your commissioners about having nets for the bridge at Thomas Johnson to catch people who want to commit suicide. Why don't they just build a lower bridge like the Benedict Bridge? You never heard of anybody committing suicide off the Benedict Bridge?
That's a very sensitive topic there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But all the attention the attention goes to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of
the safety aspect.
Instead of the bridge itself.
Yeah, I think that needs to be the priority more than anything else.
10 years after the bridge opened, it was closed for 3 months so they could put big steel rubber bands around the top support beams.
Come on.
It was closed for 3 months, and their idea of having transportation across the Patuxent River was to have little charter boats carrying 30 people at a time, back and forth, and they had school buses going from Lexington Park down to Seven Gables.
Oh wow!
You know, and on the Calvert side, the same thing.
When was this?
When was it?
Yeah.
1988.
Oh wow. Okay.
The bridge opened in 1977, and it was designed by Century Engineering. They should change their name to Decade Engineering. But that's what your Democrat members of your legislature got for this county by trading off getting rid of slot machines. You had something good going with slot machines, and then they get rid of them because they're immoral, but we bring them back only if the big gambling operations can run them. So now they're back in Maryland with the mafia making money.
Come on. Well, I mean,
with plenty of money buying off legislators for their votes.
The one thing,
just like the pot.
If you look at the transportation priorities, the bridge is always number one.
Maybe we should tell them they can grow pot underwater on the floor of the Patuxent River. Then they'll do something about the bridge.
Roger that.
Okay. All right. So we've covered a lot of territory in this interview today. And do you have anything else that you'd like to get into this interview before we quit?
More than anything else, I like people to know, I'm a Christian man, West Point graduate, father of 4, and I've been doing a lot of work in St. Mary's County, between advocacy for civil rights, for youth programs, mentoring. I just love doing good things, good work here in St. Mary's County, and I just love the opportunity to do that for 29B. So.
Okay. All right, this is Ken Rosignol with the Chesapeake Today. We're here at Fitzy's Marina in Compton with William Roosevelt B.J. Hall, and he's running for the House of Delegates in St. Mary's County, 29B. Okay, in the Republican primary in 2026.
Yes, sir.
All right. And Fitzy's has got great crab cakes. Thank you, BJ.
We got to come back and do this again.
All right, we'll do it.
Maybe you'll let me control the interview a little more next time.
No, that's not the way it works. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.